Yo, what up? I'm KOK. I was an analyst for the race team Banana Codex, which finished World 9th for this tier. And these are some really quick tips for M8s Phase 2 that could maybe save you hours of prog time. Tip number 1. For the first double tank buster, tanks take them next to the party's platform. This makes it so they can easily regroup with the party after the tank buster, because the next left-right cleave is baited on a player. If everyone's on the same platform, this makes it very easy to adjust for the left-right cleave because the boss won't turn randomly. Just make sure to quickly spread to your left-right parties after for the conga. Tip number 2. After the light party stack, right before the boss destroys a platform, I recommend grouping up on the same platform again. Since the boss chooses a random person for this platform breaking, if we can force the boss to destroy a platform, this makes it really easy for the tanks and party to orient to the new north. Basically, whenever we can force boss baits to make things consistent and reliable, it is always useful. Tip number 3, for the tethers and close bait lasers. After the towers are soaked, and before the tethers are spawned, I recommend the inner platforms group up with the edge platforms to force the tether to spawn on one of the edge platforms. Again, this makes things a little more consistent and easy to track which way the tethers are going to move. Tip 4, for the end baits, since we're forcing the tether on one of the edge platforms and the baits are pretty much static, there's only 2 bait orders that you can get depending on if the tether spawned west or east. I recommend writing down the 2 possible bait orders, either make a macro or something depending on a clockwise or counterclockwise tether movement. Having that list down and being able to call out will make things so much easier for the entire party. Not having to think about when it's their turn to bait, and just having a reliable order that can be called out. For tip number 5, for the spinny shape mechanic, just be aware that for the out pattern, you want to be really far out. It is deceptively big, bigger than the hitbox, and if you don't respect it, you'll probably get clipped. Similarly, for the pattern where you want to be on the sides, hover in the center of the platform until the back laser shows up. If you pre-position wrong, you'll probably eat both the laser and the boss cleave, leading to a death. So just make sure you hover middle until you can confirm which side you want to be on. For the blue-green tethers, since the 3 tower was discovered to always be south, the strategy on Alice Smudgley's Twitter is pretty good. Not really a tip, just spreading awareness for a pretty good strategy. Not really a tip, but for the next left or right cleave after the blue-green tethers, you want to keep a very close eye on the boss ring. If you're on a platform by the frontal boss arrow, you're good. If you're next to the frontal boss arrow, you want to get onto that frontal platform where the boss is facing. If you're on one of the back 2 platforms, you're going to have to quickly adjust to the left or right cleave by taking the teleporter. You only get 1 teleporter use for this mechanic, so don't panic with your first teleporter usage and try to solve the left or right cleave. I also recommend using light mitigation and tanking the left-right boss cleave and only dodging the inner out if possible, and if you're not going to make the dodge cleanly. It's better to survive with a damage down than take a late teleporter, get hit by the inner out, and get hit by the boss cleave. For my final tip for the enraged towers, as you have probably seen in prog streams, you can solo one of the enraged platforms with a tank invuln. You can also have tanks mitigate one of the platforms together. This should be on the 3rd or 4th enraged tower because their 2 minutes won't be up for one of the first 2 platforms. By using double invuln and a kitchen sink, healers only have to mit and heal 2 enraged platforms, usually the 1st and the 5th one. Hope these tips help you out and provide some value to you and your prog team. Thanks for watching and good luck on your clear.
Kill.